Hi, welcome to another video where I work on my MR2, Mr. Dose. And if you're new and you want to get caught up above is a link to the last video where I did just that. Everybody else, let's go. I got lots of stuff to do. Take you off the tripod. I'm still waiting on a tuner to establish a base map and get this thing tuned. So I have a bunch of other stuff that I need to do before this is drivable. Since I replaced a bunch of the old outdated sensors on this car with new modern ones, they're from various manufacturers. For instance, this boost solenoid and this map sensor are innovative. These two are Link. My flex fuel sensor, I believe, is made by Continental. They all have different types of plugs on them, and that just looks trashy. So I'm replacing them. All I'm gonna have is Deutsch connectors and Toyota ones. Much better. Now that that is done, why do I do things difficult? I'm going to allow the tuner to remote into my laptop so he can see the tuning software. Online, ECU's online. If you've ever watched one of those scammer videos where people hack into innocent, dumb, unsuspecting people's computers and then try to sell them nonsense and they end up paying with Applebee's and Home Depot cards, that's what's about to happen right now. Oh, weird! It's working! He's in here doing stuff and things and such. And he's probably gonna find out it says auxiliary 4 fault. That's because that is not hooked up yet. That's gonna be for my tax signal. Log into your PC, calling you now, check the aux4 fault. aux4. It'd be really weird if you opened up some porn on my laptop while I was recording this. Maybe I should open up some porn. That would make things really interesting. Like some weird stuff, like goats having... Now what's he doing? Time plots. Looks like he's gonna data log something. I know some of you get confused because my channel says in tuned in the name of it, but it has nothing to do with tuning. It means you're in tuned to what I'm saying. It's like play on words. You're in tuned to this conversation, in tuned into this video. Not in tuning a car. I guess it could be though, because now you're watching a video about tuning a car.
Okay, so we're not getting any cam signal at all.
Oh, I guess I could just stab a multimeter into it. Temporary solution, I gotta get rid of these anyway. Plug is removed, now my cam trigger is just wired directly. That eliminates that issue. Okay, cranking it. So the lines for the cam trigger should be a lot bigger, the cam pulses.
So this is just a voltage range, and for whatever reason, the cam is starting at 3.4 volts, where the crank is at 0.
Oh, okay.
So that's one problem. So we have the same noise on the crank trigger above the normal level.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to try and get a scope again. Do you know what gap you set the cam sensor to?
Yeah, it was 0.062. Same gap as the cam and crank are the same gap.
Let's give it another shot. We changed one setting on the crank trigger.
Going down. So, luckily it seems like it's something simple and it's not anyone's fault. It's just manufacturing process, maybe on that little Hall effect sensor, or I don't know, it could have just gone bad installing it. Maybe I got it too close to the sun's gravitational pull. And yet another wire loom successfully assembled. That looks so much better. Now all I got left to do is the fuel rail. Hello. It's the following day, obviously. I don't just change my clothes in the middle of the day. Unless I, like, spill something. You just gotta find the positives in every shit situation. Like the fact that I just burped before I said that and it tasted like vomit. I don't know what the positive is in that. But this will also make looming the wires much easier down here. Valve cover goes on, valve cover comes off. Valve cover goes on, valve cover comes off. The reason for this nonsense is not poor planning, it's because I'm changing a different style cam trigger. So this cap is getting replaced with this one. It's billet aluminum and it's drilled all the way through the center for a Hall effect sensor to screw into, which means this is going to mount to the end of the camshaft. I'm kind of sad I'm going to lose this cover though. Happens a lot usually on these type of sensors. I remember having to replace these on Hobart generator sets because they use a magnetic pickup, and sometimes you just get new ones and they were garbage. I clean off the end of this camshaft. This is as close as you will ever get to having a Honda anything under this hood. Come on out of there. Ooh, it's squirting fast. Oh, that was way too much. No, stop coming. I think I just got this stuff in my hair. Damn it. Just like that. Huge mess. Gross. This gasket maker stuff stinks. Is it over? Not bad. So in case you're not following the way this new sensor works, the only thing that's magnetic on this cap is that mild steel black set screw, which you can barely see. Everything else won't pick up, so there'll be no noise. And then these little set screws hold it onto the end of the camshaft, and I have the Loctite as well as that ultra flange is just extra insurance. And then the little cap right here, the Hall effect sensor screws into that. The upside of this design is there's less components to it, so that should mean less noise, and also the sensor is literally just pointing right at the camshaft as it's rotating instead of doing math and geometry and stuff. So hopefully this works. While I have this valve cover off, which doesn't really have anything to do with that, I'm gonna add one wire. This wire right here will allow me to have factory cruise control. I was wrong about not being able to make my factory cruise control work with this Link ECU because my factory ECU really had nothing to do with the cruise control. It's a standalone system. I was just a little confused on the inputs. All I gotta do is run a wire from my throttle position sensor on this open port that was designed for this purpose. That's gonna go to a junction down here, up to the gauge cluster, which then goes to the ECU computer, and then from the ECU computer back to the gauge cluster, from the gauge cluster back down to here, and then that input went into the factory ECU, which is not really required for this Link ECU, unless I want to do like boost by gear or something. It's 2 days later. I got a new map to try out on the ECU, and that's what I did yesterday. If you look, all the wires are now loomed. You hear that? Other than the air compressor, it's raining out. That's a good sign that this is gonna start. I don't know how. Now I'm not getting... What the fuck? The new cam trigger is working. You can see the bottom, the scope. It is picking up now, so it's doing its job, but the crank trigger isn't showing up. The last video I did on this, one of you reached out to the YouTuber Jimmy Oaks, who's an engineer and has a lot of experience with these Link ECUs, about trying to get a base map set up on here, because my tuners are out of town for the holiday weekend. And he actually DM'd me. I was completely shocked and blown away by that, because YouTubers are busy people, and for one to reach out to me, that just, I don't know, that meant a lot. So
what size injectors do you have?
1050s, the ID 1050s.
Yeah, it's got a clean signal on both.
Okay, I just suck at doing that. That's funny.
So
So have you, is the rest of the map set up at all?
So I guess from what Aaron was saying that this should be good enough to start the car. They
Okay,
haven't
so
started
do you have a
tuning
timing light
it.
with you?
I do have time light, yeah.
Where is your map sensor, by the way? Is it in the intake?
So I have...
Stop pulling a bunch of vacuum.
It's teed into, like, everything. So I got, like, 2 splitters. One goes off to the blow-off valve.
Oh, man. Try to leave the map sensor on its own if you can.
Okay.
Just because like the map sensor is like one of the most important sensors when it comes to keeping the tune consistent. So the least like teed into, the better for that one.
Oh, okay. I know one of the things they were having issues with last time is my injector duty cycle was like 0.0.
Oh, okay. Let's see.
I'm a f***ing idiot. The reason why the car won't run is because I put the fuel pressure regulator on the wrong side of the fuel rail. In my defense, I put it in the spot where the factory one was. I literally just mirrored where the factory one was. See? Factory fuel rail. That's my defense. Don't worry about how the fuel line's connected to this, but just, that's why that happened. I owe all the credit though to Jimmy Oakes. Thank you, Jimmy, for taking time away from your family today to help me figure out the MR2. And if you guys have never seen his channel before, I'm linking it down below. Go check out his channel because he builds some pretty clean cars. I was actually watching some of his videos and the dude's got good taste in cars. And he seems like a super solid human being also, which is a huge plus. And just like that, the fuel pressure regulator is now on the other side of the engine, down in that cavern. Something else that Jimmy brought up that was a good point is my vacuum lines. I had them all into one intertangled, teed off mess, and he recommended doing individual vacuum hoses to different ports in the intake manifold, especially for the map sensor. So I just took care of that, and Charlie came over after he heard what was causing this thing not to start, and it was something simple, and he brought a piece of fuel line and made a new piece of fuel line for the side that needed a longer piece, since the regulator is now on the other side. Which means this is now the moment of truth and this thing should fire up. So no! I know what the right thing to do would be, and that would be to turn off my fuel pump and reset the timing, since I have 2 people and it doesn't take that long to do that.
Okay.
So
Try it again. It's dead on now.
dead on? Okay,
Yeah.
so when Jimmy and I did it, we've got it dead on then.
Yes, but I have a feeling it's 180 out. If the cam trigger is 180 out,
You can't put it in 180 out, it's impossible.
I understand that. But the signals can still be 180 out.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
What's really weird is that this thing did start to hiccup like it was going to start. So, alright, let's see what happens now. Okay.
It is running. The tune needs work, but it's running.
It's running! It's running! It runs! I probably should have off on.
It's got no coolant.
It runs!
High five.
So that's why.
Yep.
Unless maybe I just turned that off when I was turning off the fuel pump. I probably did that.
You might have.
So it was just 180 out. Other than buttoning up some stuff on this car, which is probably about a day's worth of work, this thing's ready for tuning, which is good. That means I can start on another project because I'm fucking burnt out on the MR2. I'm not gonna lie. I'm so sick of dealing with wiring stuff, but I'm proud of myself for not fucking up any of the wiring, but I'm kind of ashamed that I screwed up something as simple as the fuel line routing. That's kind of embarrassing, but that happens. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This monopod really hurts because it's in my belly button right now because this camera's heavy. And thank you, Jimmy, and also thank you, Charlie. He's gone now, but thank you guys for your help. and I'll see you guys soon with another video. Bye.